Jax Steele's single hit finished Brock Harlan. Before we start a story, if you support Black community, hit like and subscribe button. In the heart of bustling Seattle, where rain-slicked streets mirrored the neon glow of skyscrapers, Jax Thunder Steele had found his quiet refuge. At 45, with salt and pepper hair cropped short and a frame that still hinted at coiled power, beneath his faded janitor's uniform, Jax was a ghost of his former self. By day, he scrubbed floors and emptied trash at Apex Warriors Gym, a sleek, elite facility catering to ambitious fighters and weekend warriors alike. No one suspected that Jax was once the undefeated Thunder Steele, a 7-time world mixed martial arts champion whose lightning-fast strikes and unbreakable defense had dominated cages across the globe. He'd retired at the peak of his glory, haunted by a tragedy that stole his fire. During an intense sparring session after a grueling title defense, fueled by pent-up fury from hecklers' vile slurs, Jax had unleashed a barrage too fierce. His closest ally and sparring partner, Rico Blaze Vargas, crumpled awkwardly, his head striking the mat with fatal force. The inquiry deemed it accidental, but Jax carried the guilt like chains, vowing eternal pacifism. He vanished into obscurity, trading spotlights for solitude, seeking atonement in menial tasks. The gym thrummed with the rhythmic thuds of gloves on pads and the sharp exhales of exertion that crisp autumn evening. Brock Iron Fist Harlan, the gym's charismatic yet tyrannical head instructor, a burly white man in his mid-30s with a chiseled jaw, tattooed arms bulging from his black GE, and a perpetual smirk that screamed entitlement, commanded the mat like a king on his throne. Brock's classes were legendary for their rigor, but infamous for his cutting sarcasm and selective favoritism. He reveled in breaking spirits as much as building skills, often targeting those he saw as outsiders to inflate his own ego. Tonight, his piercing blue eyes zeroed in on Jax, who was methodically mopping a sweat-soaked corner, his movements efficient and unhurried, like a dancer in disguise. "Hey, mop boy," Brock bellowed, his voice slicing through the air like a whip. The dozen students, a mix of eager novices and seasoned amateurs, froze mid-drill, gloves hovering. "You call that clean? Looks like you smeared it worse than before. Or is basic hygiene beyond your skill set?" Jax paused, water dripping from his mop, but his expression remained a mask of serene indifference. He'd endured far worse in his championship days. Crowds chanting slurs, opponents whispering taunts about his rough upbringing in the inner-city foster system. He dipped the mop back into the bucket, ignoring the jab, his broad shoulders rolling with quiet resolve. Brock, however, thrived on reactions. Silence only fueled his fire. Turning to his class with a theatrical flourish, Brock chuckled, his deep baritone echoing off the mirrored walls. "Ladies and gents, behold Exhibit A, why martial arts has levels. Some folks are born to dominate the octagon, others are destined to wipe up the blood and sweat we spill." A smattering of uneasy laughs rippled through the group, but one student, spirited young black woman named Mia Shadow Brooks, scowled, her braided ponytail swaying as she shook her head. At 24, Mia was a rising blue belt with a sharp mind, balancing her training with a PhD program in behavioral psychology. She joined Apex Warriors to hone her jiu-jitsu while researching power dynamics and bias in combat sports. Brock's lessons often veered into toxic territory, and Mia's feisty personality, equal parts intellect and fire, made her unafraid to call it out. Jax felt a subtle twinge in his gut, the ghost of old rage stirring like embers in a dying fire. But he quenched it, focusing on the rhythmic swish of the mop. He was here to atone, not engage. Yet, as Brock's mockery escalated, drawing the class into a semicircle around the mat, Jax couldn't ignore the undercurrent of prejudice lacing the instructor's words. "Everyone, front and center," Brock commanded, adjusting his black belt with a dramatic snap. "You're in for a treat. A live demo on why places like this aren't for, well, the help." He waved dismissively at Jax, his tone dripping with implication, eyes glinting with malicious glee. The students shuffled closer, some excited for the spectacle, others shifting uncomfortably. A lanky teen muttered to his partner, This feels off, man. But Brock's glare silenced them. Mia crossed her arms, her athletic build tense under her rash guard. "Coach Brock," she interjected, her voice clear and unwavering, laced with a sassy edge that dared him to push back. "How about we wrap up with actual drills? The clock's ticking and not everyone's here for sideshows." Brock pivoted slowly, his smirk twisting into a scowl. "Mia Brooks, always the know-it-all. Questioning my expertise? Park it and observe. This'll teach you more about real-world hierarchy than any textbook." Jax noted the way Brock weaponized her full name, a classic power play to intimidate. It echoed the belittling tactics of his own early coaches, who dismissed him as that street kid with delusions. But Mia's spark reminded Jax of his late foster sister, Lena Firefly Steele, a bold activist who'd rallied against injustice in their neighborhood until a drive-by shooting claimed her at 19. Jax had been defending a title in Tokyo when the news shattered him, another scar tying loss to his violent world. Seeing Mia stand tall ignited a flicker in his chest, not anger, but a protective resolve. "Mop boy," Brock sneered, sauntering closer, his boots squeaking on the freshly cleaned mat. "Fancy demoing a simple guard pass for my pupils? Or is that too advanced for a guy whose expertise is suds and spills?" Snickers echoed, but Jax remained statue still, eyes fluttering shut for a breath. In his mind's eye, he was back in the Vegas arena, spotlights blinding, crowd roaring. Thunder who? More like drizzle from the ghetto. He'd claimed the belt that night with a devastating submission, but the bottled fury exploded later in sparring, ending Rico's life. The memory anchored him. He wouldn't break his vow. "Cat got your tongue? Or just frozen in fear?" Brock pressed, then committed his first blunder. He jabbed Jax's shoulder with a condescending shove, light but loaded with disdain. Jax absorbed it without flinching, his stance unyielding like a mountain defying the wind. Brock's hand bounced back, surprise flickering in his eyes as if he'd struck iron. The room's energy shifted. Whispers grew. "Curious," Jax murmured, his deep gravelly voice cutting the tension like thunder rumbling distant. "Haven't felt that poke in ages." His personality, reserved, wise, with a dry wit honed from years of introspection, peeked through, adding layers to his enigma. The atmosphere crackled with suspense. Brock, mistaking calm for cowardice, amped up. "Hear that, crew? He finds it curious. Let's educate him on the gap between curiosity and mastery." He bounced on his toes, shadowboxing dramatically, his showy style revealing a flair for performance. "Over substance," Mia observed intently, her analytical mind racing. Jax's posture screamed predator, controlled breaths, subtle muscle twitches like a panther before pounce. A twist of intrigue built. What secrets hid behind those janitor eyes? One student, a tech-savvy guy named Alex, discreetly Googled something. On his phone, eyebrows raising. "Final warning, pal," Brock growled, irritation cracking his facade. "Step up for the demo, or I'll have security drag you out and kiss your gig goodbye." His threat hung heavy, laced with the arrogance of a man who'd never faced real repercussions. Jax's eyes opened, locking onto Brock's with an intensity that sent a shiver down the instructor's spine, like stirring a dormant volcano. "Fine," Jax replied, his tone laced with quiet command, personality shining through as a mentor in waiting. "But post-demo, you'll owe your class an explanation for morphing this sanctuary into a mockery fest." Brock barked a laugh, but it rang hollow, nerves creeping in. "Explanation? You'll be groveling from the canvas?" Unbeknownst to Brock, Jax's 2 decades of exile hadn't dulled his edge. They'd refined it. Guilt had forged his rage into surgical precision, a cold focus that turned insults into fuel. Each barb awakened the thunder within, not for vengeance, but justice. The class encircled the mat. Brock struck a pose, arms wide. Behold, warriors, the chasm between lifelong devotees and mere floor scrubbers. His personality, brash, theatrical with a bully's charm, played to the crowd, but cracks showed. Jax centered himself, eyes closing. Flashback, Tokyo Dome, 25 years prior, versus the Crusher, Ivanov. Racist jeers from ringside. Jax won via armbar in round 1, but the stress boiled over in post-fight training. Rico paying the price. Scrubber. Brock circled like a hyena. Demo a botched guard, or 2 mop-bound. Mia erupted. Coach, seriously? Degrading a worker mid-shift? That's not leadership, that's low. Silence blanketed the gym. Brock whirled, cheeks reddening. Who runs this show? This ain't about skin, it's hierarchy and respect. Jax's eyes snapped open. Mia's boldness mirrored Lena's unyielding spirit. She's spot on, he interjected, voice steady but infused with paternal wisdom. This veers from art to ego trip. Brock spun, fuming. Lecture me? You wouldn't know what you are. Dojo from a dive bar. Jax advanced a step, posture evolving, shoulders aligned, weight balanced, feet in flawless guard. His reserved demeanor cracked with a hint of thunderous authority. Truth is, I do. And this ceased being sacred ground eons ago. Brock felt an primal chill. Pride overruled sense. Talk's cheap. Time for hard truths. Tension peaked as they faced off. Mia's pulse raced. Jax moved like vintage footage of icons. Economical potent. Students retreated instinctively, air electric with impending clash. Last shot at sorry, Jax offered, his wise tone offering mercy. To her, them, and your mirror self for straying from the path. Brock scoffed. Sorry? You'll plead mercy down there. Jax had dissected Brock's flaws. Flashy guard leaving flanks. Bare shoulders betraying intent. Base wobbly from showmanship. Brock jabbed. Crisp. Textbook. Jax flowed aside like mist. Brock staggering. Solid form. Jax noted dryly, wit surfacing. But your shoulders screamed it coming. Brock chained attacks. Cross, hook, knee. Jax evaded seamlessly. Duck, weave, sidestep. Effective on dummies. Jax critiqued calmly. Exposes your core post hook. Brock panted, ego fracturing. Quit dodging, fight. Final frenzy. Wild barrage. Jax dodged. Closing gap, ethereal. Brock, Jax whispered near. Grasp gym brawls versus arena wars? Before reply, Jax palm pressed Brock's chest. Gentle yet seismic. Brock soared backward 3 meters, thudding down, breathless. Audible gasps. Brock gaped ceiling ward. How? Impossible. Mia gawked. Such mastery, clinical, merciful. Jax extended aid. Basic, leverage, timing, flow, honed across 25 pro years. Pro what? Brock quavered. Alex, phone aloft. Jax Steele, Thunder, 7-time MMA king, retired flawless post-partner's tragedy. Revelation detonated. Brock blanched. He'd provoked a myth. If known, Brock mumbled. Respect. Then? Jax probed gently, personality's wisdom piercing. Or bully the titleless? Mia chimed. Coach, that's not guidance, it's tyranny. Nods rippled. Brock deflated. Sorry, to you, Mia, all. Unforgivable. Jax accepted gracefully. Words spark shift. What's next? I'll evolve, Brock pledged, eyes humbled. Mia queried. Jax, mentor us? Strengths and duty, not dominance. Jax grinned warmly. Reserved shell-cracking. Perhaps not strikes, but soul. Respect via heart, not hardware. Twist unfolded months on. Gym reborn. Jax co-instructed, blending technique with ethics. Mia his protege. Brock, video viraled by Alex, lost clout, but uncovered his fraud. Purchased belt, no real bouts. Jax confronted privately. Brock confessed. Stepping back for soul-searching, finding redemption coaching underprivileged kids. Justice whispered like thunder fading. Jax showed vengeance is elevation through integrity, inspired by this saga of resilience. Like, subscribe, share on Black. Journey for more empowering tales.